The likes of a South Dakota State home game.
When you say neutral floor, you can't see us, but we're doing air quotes right now because whenever they played the South Dakota State promo video before the game, it's not really a neutral court.
Now these teams met twice on the regular season. Each time the home team came away a decisive winner. They were both pummelings. Pioneers probing. Brenchley on the drive. His shot off and the board to William Kyle III, an impressive defender and incredibly athletic forward.
6'9", yeah, he's springy, and he was really good last out. He took 4 shots, but made them all in a win over St. Thomas, 59-49. It wasn't pretty in the semis, but they got it done.
Here's Luke Apple, who plays with a lot of flair, a lot of charisma per his head coach. Able to muscle in, but can't quite sneak it home. Chin and spin as Lopez San Vicente altered the shot.
I want to see some fireworks here. You know, Denver won scoring 99 points. South Dakota State won by scoring 97 points. John, any chance you think we see that sort of number here?
That's a great question. Denver has seemingly reshaped itself in this tournament. Couple of up fakes and an air ball by Toko Tynamo. And a one and done. Mayo the feed, and there's the two-hand jam! The explosion of Kyle! Tim, he is just fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. That was cleared for takeoff there, no doubt about it. Easy pick and roll, and they got a lot of that last out when they were at home, San Diego State, against this Denver team. Said South Dakota State, excuse me.
Pedro Lopez San Vicente had the game of his life earlier this year against the Jackrabbits. 3-ball off for DeAndre Craig, who's become a big part of their story. Easily board, bad pass, tipped, and out of bounds. Last touch to Bruner. No, they're going to reverse.
Yeah, check out that pick and roll. I mean, perfect execution, and then up, and away for Kyle III. It's going to be interesting to see Denver mix in their defenses. They've done a better job, I think, in the postseason of going man and into zone. South Dakota State is such a great three-point shooting team that you're nervous to go into zone.
And we use that Syracuse zone. Probing dribble by Craig. Leave on high. 3-ball denied Tynamo. 10 on the timer. Craig deflected. 7 to shoot. Spin move. Tynamo contested. Short. Loose ball tip secured by Apple.
I just feel like Denver needs a bucket just to settle them down a little bit. They have been out of sorts.
Light scoring early. Both semifinals had that kind of feel. Defense dominating. The movement from the Jackrabbits. When they're at their best, what are they doing?
Well, last game, they had 4 different guys make 2 threes. They're such a great passing team. It's great interior look there from Kyle to Apple. And now, if you're Denver, you got to get Bruner the ball. You got to get him in a pick-and-roll situation, clear side. Got to stop the bleeding in some way. Number 0 has to be that guy.
Apple had a career day with dimes in that semifinal. Bruner is a huge part of Denver. Tynamo steps into it. Got it. They drilled 3 unanswered threes at the start of their semifinal, sprinted to a 9-0 lead.
And knocked off Omaha 66-63. It's crazy to think that they were picked dead last coming into the year preseason.
Apple given the ISO. Holds that pivot, 13 to shoot. Up fake, got Craig briefly in the air. Double comes. Pass easily down the lane, shield and miss. And each team one and done. Pull up Bruner. Rainbow hits heel. Kyle the board. Apple brings it up, a JUCO All-American. 4 years now with the Jackrabbits.
Apple's got to try to score that. He's gotten into the lane multiple times, but almost getting in the lane looking to pass.
Kyle given the isolation. Spins and jams! Two pretty dunks in the first 4 minutes. Do you have a card you can write numbers down for like dunk contest ratings?
You know, it still only counts as 2 points, so I know it gets the crowd excited, but if you're Denver, you got to operate your offensive motion. It just seems like they're out of sorts on offense.
Tynamo miss, easily transition 3, hits heel. Rebound, Kyle rips it away. Drop step, strong, rejected, out of bounds, and it's Denver ball. The Jams coming out early. Kyle's authority.
Stayed in Denver over the holidays instead of going home to distribute hundreds of presents to underserved children. But the big goal is providing opportunity. The same way he grew up utilizing public parks to grow his love of basketball, he wants to create that for other kids by building more parks in Denver.
Just a tremendously self-aware, giving, kind, generous young man who at one point nearly walked away from basketball. Significant foot injuries over the years. Brenchley kick. Lopez San Vicente. Bruner, one shot try so far, no points yet. Lopez San Vicente. 2 to shoot. Craig hits iron, and Kyle, great boxing board.
South Dakota State's defense has just been locked in, huh? I mean, guys are talking, moving their hands. Every shot's been challenged. Even the bucket Denver has was, I don't want to call it lucky, but it was lucky.
Kalen Gary backing down. Wrap around, another jam. Kyle has been a physical force.
And all you can say is, watch your head. I mean, not once, not twice. John Sadak, we have seen 3 monster jams in this game from Kyle.
And that last one came on the top shot blocker in the league, a 7-footer in Isaiah Carr. And there's Dad watching the scene, soaking it up, getting it for the phone video as well.
No, he's watching the stream of it. He just wants to hear us.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's not filming this. He's watching it on the app. If you don't have the CBS
Oh,
Sports app.
easily saves it. Gary for 3. Yes! Seven unanswered in just over 90 seconds. Bruner given the shot, doesn't take it. The turnaround rattles down the first bucket for Bruner.
Yeah, for Bruner, he needs to be selfish for the goodness of his team. Like, if they're going to go down, they're going to go down with him shooting the ball 25 times.
Gary up fake behind the Moores screen. Moores. Mayo. Moore's release. Rainbow miss. Tapped out by Gary. Mayo on high. Got it! From dunks at the rim to bombs from deep. Bruner. Off the screen from Carr. Craig, who's become the primary point with Bruner playing with a bum wheel.
They're just looking to Bruner to make something happen here.
Leans into it. No call.
I thought he should have got that one. Defender kind of came over into his space. I know he was leaning in, but that should have been 3 shots.
Kyle, given the isolation, does help come? Foul. That's going to be another on Carr. So the elite rim protector for Denver, the best shot blocker in the league, is 2. Easily Kyle get a breather. Jackrabbits showing their depth.
Well, we've been doing games a long time together. You ever see anybody come out and set a tone like Kyle set in the first 7 minutes of this game?
I mean, to be that physically dominant. What do you think of Carr staying in with 2 fouls here? Well, now they're going to send a man to the table. And Lopez San Vicente comes in. And just now, I think Jeff Woolbrin fully realized it. He was really riding our far side official. Contested 3, swish. That's the player of the year in the Summit. It's an avalanche of points for the Jackrabbits.
Athletic, hops, I'll use them all. He was awesome and set a major tone for South Dakota State. You know, Denver's upset they didn't get the call on the other end, and that ends up being a big swing. And now, you know, Mayo comes down, hits a 3. you don't want to call it a 6-point swing, but you know, when you're getting trounced like this, and now another turnover, you know, every call is really important early on before this gets out of hand.
And you can feel the groundswell of momentum.
And when you can't get the ball over half court as a college Division I team against, you know, light pressure, that ain't good.
It's a 2-on-1 and you have the ball. Gary kick. Oh, the rhythm of the passing picking up. Apple wants it. They reverse. Mims lead from Mayo. Craig stays with him. 6 to shoot. Deep three. Off iron. Isaiah Anto Ankra the board. He has had some big buckets. 3 game winners for the Pioneers on the year. They have rallied twice from down 18 to win this year. Mims called for a foul. You spoke of how Mims was absent for Eric Henderson at the start. A broken foot derailed their non-league beginning. He missed the first 13 games. William Kyle, who's off to this stellar start in this game, he was benched at one point. He didn't start 11 consecutive games, got sat during their MTE back in mid-November, did not re-enter the starting lineup until they really came into focus in conference play.
And really the turning point of their season is when they got blown out by Denver. They made some adjustments to the lineup, made some adjustments to their defensive style. They came back and trounced Denver by 27, and that really changed the course of their season.
Bruner on the drive. Apple able to maintain verticality. Loose ball, pinballs to Mayo. Lead for Apple.
And Mayo's going to like this matchup.
Against Dynamo. Gary. Mims picks it up. Apple gets fed. Dropping that right shoulder. Hard kick, so that's pretty.
And that move works in 2024. That move will work in 2050 as well. That's one you bring with you as you get older.
That's a 15-2 run. What's the response for Denver?
Well, Denver's got to get to the free throw line. They average nearly 24 attempts from the line a game. That's top 20 in college basketball. So when things are going sideways, you got to get aggressive. So far, the aggressor has been South Dakota State, hitting threes.
Rebounds. His defense has held the Pioneers to 2 of 11 shooting. Paint points are 10-zip. South Dakota State.
If I was a player, I'd love Eric Henderson. He has such an amazing demeanor about him and paid his dues in the coaching rank, but actually started as a teacher, a second-grade teacher.
3-ball up top, off, rebound Apple.
And then moved on to a principal and then assistant coach. And now in his 5th year, he has won nearly 70% of his games as a head coach.
Is this the zone?
This is not man-to-man, I'll tell you that. So they're trying something different here, and now you got to get out and find shooters.
Mims drains from deep.
Sometimes when you play a zone, John, it's sort of kind of like waving a white flag of like, we can't guard you. Now I know that Denver has mixed it in at times, but first possession, wide open 3, it goes in. Not a good recipe.
Foul before the break went on Mayo, by the way, his first. Carr playing with 2 fouls. Little Euro and lost the ball. South Dakota State looks fluid. Oh, that's a deep 3. And Denver looks disjointed.
And whenever you're going up against a zone, you always want to get like a paint touch or a foul line touch. That's just great execution there from South Dakota State. Now, if you're Denver, you got to go towards the rim. I don't care if you get an offensive foul. You got to attack the rim.
There goes Craig, and that's disrupted on the way up. Finish and one chance for their 7-footer in Carr.
Now all of a sudden, like, you're down, you're desperate, you got to start attacking. Like, you see pressure like that, great job by Denver just going right at it, because your strength is getting to the free throw line. Shoot almost 25 free throws a game. So far in this game, you've shot 0. So let's start being aggressive and getting back to your makeup.
That foul goes to Mims. That's his 2nd. He's been the primary defender of late on Bruner. Carr 65% at the line. Misses. Tipped by Kyle, who's back in. Easily wins it. Mayo to the table to sub in. You would presume for Mims.
Emily talked about it, but Bruner's probably at about 60%.
Right.
There's just no other way to say it. He hasn't practiced in about 2 weeks, and I think that's one of the reasons just seeing the zone, too, is to protect him defensively.
Apple, Kyle looking for the ball. Easily on high, wide open. This is dominance. Denver twice this year has rallied down as many as 18. Here they are, down 25-7. Bruner in and out. Easily up the floor.
I mean, look at the rhythm that South Dakota State is playing. Watch that ball move side to side. It's just Denver's needs to get more active hands, even a kickball deflection. So far, Jackrabbits getting whatever they want.
For Jeff Wilburn's club, they're familiar with comebacks. Rallied from down 18 to beat Nichols, down 20 to beat North Dakota State, a dozen to beat Kansas City, the toughest team in the league per Jeff Wilburn. Got a denial right at the rim as time expired. A block shot. Took down the 2 seed. Mims pauses, hits.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could see Bruner right there have a hard time keeping up with him. And, you know, he's gutting this team out, getting them to the championship, leading the country in scoring. But, I mean, it's pretty obvious he's not being able to get any separation on the offensive end.
Running banker, a little awkward, but it goes for Brenchley, the 25-year-old transfer from Utah. 4 years playing for the Utes and also a couple of years on a mission. Mims wide open corner 3. I mean, these looks are stellar.
Yeah, Bruner's not moving well. I mean, there's no other way to say it. And is it the third game in 3 nights, John, that's catching up to him? It looks like it early on.
Also worth noting that Denver took a shoot-around today, and while Bruner did not participate, he hasn't practiced in over a dozen days. Good runner there by Lopez San Vicente. South Dakota State did not elect to come and shoot around. They just handled things with internal meetings. Mayo. Apple slip. Mayo float. Kyle bumped. That'll be a foul on Lopez San Vicente. Let's take a look at what's happened today for Tommy Bruner.
Yeah, I mean, defense has been outstanding for South Dakota State. There's a deep one, and no doubt, when you have 10 games where you get 30 points or more, that was the foul he didn't get. This one goes in and out. Comes into the game averaging over 24 games so far. Has really been ineffective, and honestly, you hate to pick on somebody, but the way he's moving, John, I would just go at him defensively and challenge him in screening rolls and keep isolating him.
We'll step aside. Pioneers need ignition. The Jackrabbits have authored their own tale.
Started off as a coach, then went into real estate, and then missed the coaching aspect. Started coaching high school again, became an assistant, certainly paid his dues at many different stops, and now he's trying to do something that Denver has never done before, and that's get to the tournament. John, they got a deep hole.
Bruner the steal. Rejected in transition. Craig follow. Floats it up. Draws the foul. And that's the aggression that you were talking about, and it seemed like Wilburn as well echoed in that interview.
You know, I was talking about Bruner and the tough time he has moving, but I just love this guy's guts. Look, he's out here on the floor. He's making things happen. Folks, he doesn't practice. Do you know how hard it is to play in games when you don't practice what you're doing? Conditioning, rhythm, timing, getting to know your teammates, and he's got a 7 seed in the finals here. He's cutting it out. Now you got to make your free throws. You got to try to chip away at this, John. Try to get this single digits before half.
Make sure to tune in to the 2024 Reese's College All-Star Game presented by Walmart, April 5th, live 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on CBS Sports Network. Bound went to Moore's, his first. Now Craig, who's been in double figures in 3 consecutive games, all of his starts, doesn't play like a freshman anymore, per his head man, out of the renowned Mount Carmel High School, near stomping grounds in Chicago.
You have the south side of Chicago. You got to be tough to play down there in the Catholic League. That's going to be over and back. Yeah, good call there by the official.
It's been a big difference from deep early.
Yeah, 5 of 10 so far for the Jackrabbits, and honestly, offensively, they're getting whatever they want. They're in a rhythm. Denver's got to do a better job of, check out these looks. I mean, shooting fish in a barrel right now for South Dakota State. This is what they do. Last game against St. Thomas, 9 of 25 from 3, 38%. 38% from 3, John, is better than 50% from 2.
And they're also a top 20 two-point shooting team in all of America. Denver's 1 of 8, and they make over 8 a game. That's second most in the Summit. It's usually a big part of their offense. Bruner. Oh, nice feed. Oh, two-hand flush. Draw the double and dish. Can they chip away? They began 2 of 12. They've hit 4 of 6 since. Stops would certainly be part of that. Kyle's been quiet. Lead for Gary. Kyle posted up. Remember, Carr plays with 2. Moore's with 8. Gets it to him. 5. Rejected on help. Denver ball. The shot swap from Lopez San Vicente, who had the denial at the rim at the buzzer in the quarterfinals. 3-ball. Bruner. He wanted a call there. He doesn't get it.
Good no call by the official.
Gary shaping up. Transition triple. Easily back tap. Gary saves it, but to Bruner. Mayo playing with a foul. He gives up the bucket.
Smart play by giving up the bucket. When you're the best player on your team, best player in the league, you don't want to pick up a second like that. Excellent play by Mayo.
9-0 run in just over 2.5 minutes. Inline drive denied, but a foul.
Yeah, you're going to see it was tipped out. Now you got to wonder, did you need to save the ball like that? Because there was no established position there. A possession, rather. So you end up saving the ball, and you save it to the wrong guy, because the last guy you want to get going is the leading scorer in the country, and an easy deuce like that can sometimes get a scorer into a rhythm.
Last foul to Pedro Lopez San Vicente, so he's got 2. Jackrabbits haven't scored in 3 minutes.
Mayo's got to look to drive here.
Pops the 3. He's got 3 triples and a game-high 9. Bruner against Easley. Pulls up, puts it home.
Yeah, that layup might have gotten him going a little bit, but Mayo's been remarkable in this game, and he got a chance to work out with Damian Lillard this summer, and that really transformed his thinking. I mean, he is just taking over at this point.
Gary, Kyle's getting denied by Carr. They're able to find him. Muscling Carr, opposite Gary. On the drive, and that's taken away. And that rhythm is seemingly removed from the Jackrabbit offense, but a turnover. Kyle gladly takes it away from Brenchley.
Yeah, Brenchley, I don't know where he was going there. He was trying to make something out of nothing. That was an opportunity to get this game to 10 and maybe even 9.
Mayo, as Kyle and Carr are in a battle on that far block. Apple. Showing the pivot. Mayo rims away.
And Mayo's got beautiful rotation on his ball. It seems like every time he shoots, it's going to go in.
Meanwhile, it feels like the Pioneer momentum might still be there.
Got to keep attacking. Do not settle.
3-ball. Lopez San Vicente short. Rebound Kyle.
Yeah, that's a settle. You can get that shot at any time.
Apple. The hop, the kick, easily rhythm 3. No. Kyle tip. Kyle foul. Bruner drops 24 a game, best in the country. He's got 6 so far tonight. Pops a contested 3 off target. And the foul as Carr hit Apple. That's his 3rd.
Oh, South Dakota State. They're coming out with a lot of emotion. hard to get that chemistry. Defense, great defensive team. That's going to be a pick. And then the Valley. Did you watch the game this weekend? Drake, Indiana State. Oh boy, no one is going to want to see both of those teams. And I love that we let Jerry Palm out of the basement in about January, okay? And he needs both of these Valley teams in the tournament. Come on, Jerry, get the Bunsen burner out. We need both these teams in there. Cook them up something.
Mims back on the floor with 2. I didn't think a Bunsen burner reference would be in the first half tonight. Mims 3-ball off, tipped out of bounds. It's Denver ball. The last foul before the break, by the way, made it 3 on Isaiah Carr. He's now on the bench. He is their rim protector. How does that change things 3.5 to go before the break?
It's going to come down to defense, John. I think that's what you're alluding to. Can they get stops? And it's not just 1 or 2. You know, can you go on that 9-0 run like they did before to kind of thrust themselves back into this ball game? I think the key right now is, can they get into single digits before half?
Bruner in and out. Back tap to Gary. Bumped by Bruner. Blocking foul. And Bruner shaped up. He wanted that contact. He thought it was going to be an offensive.
Obviously, the toughest call in basketball is the charge call. And now, they really didn't give him room to land and make a basketball play. I'm okay with that call. The officials have a difficult job, but they nailed that one. You could just see Bruner, he can't get to the rim. He even got one of his layups blocked. Everything is either a jump shot or a 3.
Mims beats Bruner off the bounce. Kick out of the wing, Barnhart. Apple wants it, gets fed. Lopez San Vicente defending with 2 fouls. Apple, misfire. Ball able to hit the deck, but to Denver's Jaxon Brenchley.
I think Denver's lucky they're only down 14. This could easily be 22 or 25.
I would agree. Falling away. Tough shot short. Loose ball. Great head man to Gary.
So I think now if you're Mayo, you try to take this game over and push this to 16 or 20 by half.
Nate Barnhart bounce to Apple. Given the isolation, gets the bucket. Now Denver hasn't scored in over 3.5 minutes. Apple having a productive start, balanced team effort. Bruner showing shake. And he just looks off. Mayo sees the seam, slows. Oh, nice feed. Cut out. Two-hand jam. What a pass by Apple. Timeout, Denver.
And you can see Coach Wilburn not happy, and his mannerisms are a little more mild-mannered. Kids, don't read lips here, because he is not happy in that huddle, and what he's trying to do is fire his team up to play with a little bit more pride. I saw that was one of the words that he used that I could actually say over the air.
Interpretation by Tim Doyle, who's also got us in safety goggles with Bunsen burners, so we'll see where else the game takes us tonight. No points in over 4 minutes, now under 90 seconds. Craig for 3, yes. And that snaps the more than 4-minute scoring drought. And Jackrabbits with a different bounce in their stride and a foul off ball.
This is going to be a shooting foul now. That's going to put Denver in the bonus. South Dakota State's going to be shooting here. I don't know if this means anything. It feels like it's 25, and it's only 15. So Kyle goes to the free throw line, only shoots 59%. Misses, you get a bucket. You're still sort of kind of within striking distance here.
Foul to Tynamo, his first. Front end of the 1-and-1. Ugly miss. Rebound to Craig. Bruner. Goes right at Mims, playing with 2 fouls. Good up and under. Duke Barnhart and finish. He now has 8 to lead the Pioneers. None of his teammates more than 4. Easily given isolation. Mims. Kyle cuts basket. Mayo. Barnhart wants it right corner. Mayo ripping down the lane into contact from Craig and a foul.
this ain't easy to do, is get the ball, 8 guys are watching you, and you got to go one-on-one. And I think if South Dakota State wins this game and they advance into March, Zeke Mayo has to do a better job of not disappearing. You know, he hasn't done anything in 4 or 5 minutes here. And when things go tough, or if they end up winning this game and advancing, he needs to stay aggressive throughout 40 minutes, meaning driving like he did, making plays for others. Because he is a tremendous offensive player, 6'4" junior from Kansas.
And an excellent free throw shooter, and normally getting to the line a big part of his game. He's 3rd in the league in percentage. He's top 5 in free throw attempts. This is his first trip to the line tonight. And he misses 1 of 2, an elite shooter.
It's a compliment to him. That's how great of a player he is, but he just can't go missing for a few minutes at a time. He needs to stay aggressive, especially if they win this game in advance and take on a Power 5 or an upper level seed.
5+ second differential here. Dynamo, sharp dribble. Bruner, 4 to shoot. Trying to shake easily, help from Mims, kick, shot clock violation, 5 seconds, length of the floor. They have to use it or lose it.
You can see Bruner's not able to get any penetration. The rest of his teammates are just standing around. They got to move, set a back screen. Too much standing around watching Bruner do his thing.
Barnhart the trigger. Snaps it into Mims. Down the lane. Banker miss. Red light on. 37-23 at the break.
Well, a dominant performance on both ends of the floor for South Dakota State. They've locked up the top scorer in the country. They got big momentum play.
They're just outside the top 20 in the country. They get to the line almost 24 times a game.
And that's because on offense, they were just settling for threes. You know, South Dakota State's defense, they play with a lot of aggression. When the team plays aggressive like that, you got to attack them, John. I thought Denver just settled in that first half.
And give the Jackrabbits a lot of credit. They have answered the bell of a championship affair where Denver has come out decidedly flat.
Well, Gene Katie, the old Purdue coach, told me the first 5 minutes of the second half is the most important part of the game.
Bruner on the drive. Kyle shapes up. Kick out of the wing, awkward catch, Brenchley. Floats it up, rolls away.
Another good nugget. Gene Katie gave me a cash gift at my wedding.
Was he generous?
Yeah, he was on the platinum level.
Giving season for the Jackrabbits, William Kyle.
What half is this again? Because that's exactly how the first half started. The second half, the same way. Kyle is at 4 monster jams.
He has just pummeled the Pioneers right at the cup. And we haven't seen a shot blocking prowess yet. The Summit's Defensive Player of the Year easily knocks it free. He's a defensive dynamo. Mayo in transition, showing the shake down the lane. Lead for Kyle. Apple shape it up. He wants it. Mims slams on the brakes. Good bounce. Apple changes hands. He's fun to watch down there.
You know, we looked at the criteria. They got upperclassmen. They're defending well. They've been around the block. Eric Henderson's been there 5 years.
Bruner fouled on the drive.
But this execution on offense, this is an execution. This is just get up and at him or Kyle, and then, you know, we joked about it, but that's a compliment. When someone says your game can age like a fine wine, that's not a disrespectful line. That's a compliment to Apple.
And Bruner at the line. 7th most free throw attempts in Division I. Big part of his national leading scoring average. Cans the first.
I mean, he's all heart right here. Here was a kid that wasn't sure he was ever going to play basketball again, John. Had some injuries. Was reluctant to have surgery.
Had a nasty foot injury at Jacksonville. That was in January of 22. And doctor said, you need surgery or you won't play again. And he said, I guess I won't play again. And then he went back to the doctors again, and they said, you need surgery or you won't walk again. And he had the surgery with some reluctance. And then he did have a window to play once more. It's the other foot that's hurt this year. But he is tough, and he's playing through it. Apple, end line drive. And he went right at the shot blocker. Isaiah Carr had just subbed back in. Remember, he had 3 fouls and went to the bench with 4 minutes to go in the first. Bruner falling away. No.
Good eyes there, John. Falling away. And what was the shot? Short. He's just having a hard time getting any explosion. I mean, he is really gutting it out there. And you got to love that for the kid, but you got to feel for him at the same time.
Apple again. Kyle hangs on the rim trying to follow. Bruner pops a 3 off target. Kyle. There were sequences where Mayo was quiet in the first. He still finished with 10. Alley-oop, Craig rejected away. That's what Carr can do with the swat. Bruner going at Mayo. Double comes from Mims. Craig feed. Dynamo bumped.
You think you can throw it up high enough, but great anticipation by Isaiah Carr, who was really good last out against Omaha. Probably his best game of the season. 9 points, 10 rebounds. He's been very effective throughout this tournament. Problem in this game is that just had a tough time staying on the floor.
Bruner. Brenchley, the hesitant 3. Got it. That's just the 3rd made 3 for Denver on the game. Mayo with great off-ball movement. Everyone is moving. Apple spin. He was surprised at that cushion. He paused before the finish. Carr is being clearly careful with his defense. Bruner right into the heavy pile. And the loose ball to Barnhart.
You gotta wonder if they're gonna start sending a double towards Apple because he's just getting whatever he wants.
Stepping back, Mayo sticks it. That's 4 made 3s. He's got 14 to lead the game. Timeout, Denver.
Yourself, and if you're good enough, you're going to get seen. I would say player of the year could be considered good enough, guys.
I would say so. He's a top 7 scorer in program history, and he plays a ton of minutes, Tim. He's played 40 or more minutes 6 times this year.
Yeah, and we asked him, who does he like in his game to, and he says C.J. McCollum, former Lehigh great, and then Damian Lillard, Weber State, 2 guys that made their bones at quote-unquote mid-majors. So sometimes the grass isn't always necessarily greener. You go somewhere and then, you don't have that same position. I mean, here, the light is fluorescent green for him to do whatever he wants.
Apple able to finish. And you were on his productivity before the break. It just feels like he's taken over this last sequence.
Well, I'm starting to project into what he could do the next round. And he's a guy who can make hard shots on next-level defenders.
3 ball. Isaiah Anto Ankra. He has had some big 3s on the year. And Denver get going from deep. Wide open Mayo. And that was Bruner a little slow, and you can see on Bruner's face his self-disgust. He's just not moving cleanly. Brenchley. Bounce to Craig. It's heel, rebound Gary. Kyle ready to sub back in for the Jackrabbits. Tyson Garf ready for, I believe, his first minutes for Denver. Mayo takes the 3. A rare miss for him today. Bruner able to get by. And Bruner, by the way, we're getting word from Emily, switched sneaks during the game. Are these the ones, Emily, that he was offered before the game? 3-ball count.
Yes, they were.
See if that can make a difference for him. Pops a three. It's got to be the shoes.
I thought my first half was mediocre. I actually borrowed Emily's shoes. Nobody can see them.
You assuredly broke them. Barnhart. Short. That was altered. Denver ball.
I want to see Bruner shoot it just because I'm a basketball fan. It looks like he's got a little bit of rhythm going.
Brenchley off the double screen. Sets a hard pick. Down the lane. Floated up. Bit of a prayer shot. Apple wins it.
Bruner, he never even came inside the logo that time. He looks gassed on the defensive end. Now, you got to remember, this is the third game in 3 nights.
Apple hit on the spin. Craig's got a second. Jackrabbits have the lead and then some. A dominant.
Mountain West men on the flip side, how many teams are they going to get in, John? I know you bring your Jerry Palm dictionary everywhere you go, and pictures and all, Bunsen burner, graduated cylinders. How many Mountain West teams get in? 6?
Well, let me get my safety goggles. Yes, I think we're looking at 5 to 6. 6 would be a new record. 5 is the current standard for the league. Barnhart. Opposite. Mims 4 on the timer. A little short. Dynamo's got it. 3-ball. Off target for Jaxon. Jackrabbits just space the floor and it opens seams. Kyle cleans up, foul. Isaiah Jaxon with his first foul.
I think Kyle has had some of the best in-game dunks I have ever seen at the college level in one game. I mean, his head is like at the rim on some of these pick and rolls. Now, the free throw line, it's a work in progress. Missed one in the first, and you can see him kind of, would you call that shooting or baby in the ball? He's kind of guiding it in, right, John?
He is doing things that I could never imagine doing. Misses on that second. He also shows that same both athleticism and sense of anticipation in his shot block game. That was on display earlier in the tournament. Travel. Mayo closed out.
It just seems like all game long, Denver's had a tough time finding an offensive rhythm. Now, they beat South Dakota State. If you've been watching this game, you may even find that hard to believe, but they beat them handily the first time they matched up and scored 99 points. They also made 14 threes.
And snapped a 12-game slide in the all-time series. Jackrabbits have played 13 of 14, most in pronounced fashion. Another jam. That time to pass. Mayo was a step ahead. Garth getting time off the pine. One and done. Kyle board. Denver only has 2 offensive rebounds this entire game. That's despite a lot of shot misses. Ball just moving. Kyle backing in against Dynamo. Overplays. Forces the turnover. Garth ahead. Scores. Mayo, pretty flow. Kyle denied. Gets it back. Holding that pivot. Left hand draws the foul. Kyle showing no mercy. Full Cobra Kai on the rim.
Tone in this game. You know, when you have a massive dunk like that, crowd, energy, play harder on defense, he changed this game from the jump.
Now, South Dakota State, despite pronounced better shooting, is out-rebounding Denver by 8. And at its core is Kyle, who's already got a double-double. His team leading 5th. He's got 11 rebounds. Denver as a team has 22.
Well, I know everyone sees a guy like that at this level and they wonder what he could do at another level. I think he's perfect here because his offensive game is still a work in progress. His free throw is still a work in progress. And what a great place to grow your game versus going somewhere and then maybe just being another guy.
Kick ball. Let's check in with Hamilton.
Yeah, I've been listening into some of these huddles on the South Dakota State side, and man, just so calm and positive from the head coach. And he actually said that that comes from his 2-year experience being a second-grade teacher. He said while coaching young men is obviously different than a second-grade classroom, the experience taught him every day is a good day. He said second graders always lift your spirits, so he takes that now to the court.
I appreciate that. You had asked him that question, Tim, and I love that line of thinking about what from second grade could carry over to Division I men's basketball.
Yeah, because my mentality is still on that level, and I miss second grade. Could you imagine having a teacher that's like 6'8" tall?
I could totally see you being a real-life Billy Madison. I could definitely see that. Doyle rules. Kyle puts it up, and short. Carr collects.
And he went from teaching to a principal to assistant coach and grad manager. He actually had a job at Iowa State that he was a learning specialist.
And he couldn't even define exactly what that was. Bruner into the corner, 3-ball off target. Apple's got it.
I think I'm going to start saying that for people that are in college. What are you guys majoring? I'm a learning specialist.
Foul. They played under Greg McDermott at Wayne State. Took over for TJ Otzelberger 2019, who had a 2-year tryst where they can communicate directly to the entire audience. And I really appreciate our officiating crew helping us out in that way.
We got some of the best here in the Midwest. Mike Sanzier, who assigns officials for the Summit, was as good as it gets. Refereed me in the Big Ten, never gave me 2 fouls in the first half, so maybe that's why I liked him.
Did you get hazard pay for your games?
That was before Venmo was popular.
Apple for 3, uglier miss. And keep in mind, Bruner hadn't had a shot try in over 4 minutes. Now he's on the bench after that foul. Can Denver score without the top scorer in the country? So far, the answer's been no. Carr wants it against Apple. Kick into the corner. Garth off iron, long board, Mayo. Oh, nice feed up the floor from Moores. Gary on the trail, and they reset. Apple up and in. He is decisive, aggressive, and really creative.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how teams scout them going into their tournament game. Because if you double him, now all of a sudden you get all these shooters all around.
Brenchley on top.
They're a tough team to guard. And now Apple's running the point, and you got Mayo playing off the ball.
Yeah, they've been to the Big Dance 6 times, but haven't won a tournament game despite many close calls. They're 0-6. Moore's off iron.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say about apples? They keep the doctor away. What they're not going to keep away is an NCAA State promo video on the big screen. And it felt like a home game. I'm okay with that. You want to know why? They won the regular season. Like getting that #1 seed. Yes, I know it's not technically home court, but I like advantages for being the best team over an 8-week period. So I know that kind of felt a little unnatural to watch that happen as we're, in a conference tournament, but that should be a perk. Every advantage possible. Colgate's going to be on our air playing at home. And I'm okay with that, too.
I agree with you. Patriot League, it's every round high seed hosts, and there are days between the quarterfinal, semifinal, and championship to allow for that. Mayo with confidence and fury, followed by Moore's off. Well, Bruner is back after brief time on the pine. He's got 15 points, but not an efficient night. 3-ball. Drops down. Pedro Lopez San Vicente.
San Vicente in their win, he banged down 5 threes when they beat South Dakota State. In that game that they made 14 threes. Not the same story today.
Yeah, that was by far the best performance of his career. Apple bumps Bruner. Mims behind the Apple screen, a little short. Lopez San Vicente thought he got hit. Bruner for 3. No. Apple good. Box tap to Easley. Mayo bumped by Bruner. Mims had him wide open in that far right corner. And you can feel the Jackrabbits taking a breath here. Kyle ready to sub, 8 to shoot. Apple felt the double. Spin into it. Oh, great feed from Morris. What a pass. He's got 4 assists. Brenchley just holding the pivot and 1. Foul on Easley.
The Apple plays a similar style to Domantas Sabonis, where he's the center, but he's also kind of like the point guard. Brenchley here, he's 25 years old. And he was an outstanding high school player out of Utah. He's missed the basketball in the state of Utah. Now transfers from Utah. He's at Denver. He's a finance major, minor in Chinese language. Amazing. He's married. His wife Jace is in the stands.
Misfire. Able to track it down. Shooter's got it.
You got to shoot it. You hustle to get the ball. It's a free shot for you.
Garf. Off target. Apple couldn't handle. Brenchley. Bumped by Mayo. Gets it again. Garf up top. Another look is off. A rare series of offensive rebounds for the Pioneers, and still all the possession empty. Oh, Apple just bully ball and help. Knocks it free from Craig. Craig steps into it. Got it. The lead swelled to 23. It has been sliced to 14. There's still 5 minutes left.
Well, South Dakota State, they're trying to salt this game away, and you got to keep playing.
Mims miss. Headman Bruner. Touchdown Denver. What a pass. Almost feels like the Jackrabbits might need a timeout. This is a 13-2 Denver run. Apple picks it up. Timeout. Eric Henderson and company talk it over.
Well, give Denver credit. They have been down from the... There's too much time, and you let a team believe. And so far this year, John, they've had some dramatic comebacks.
Yeah, they've rallied from down 18, down 20, down a dozen. They've been down as many as 23. This is the closest it's been since the 5:40 mark first half. That's when it was 30-18. And the Jackrabbits, after a timeout, just give it away. Pioneers on the prowl. Bruner defended by Mims. Lee for Craig. Sees a seam and line. Garf slams on the brakes. Dynamo. Falling away. Kyle slips. Shot short. Apple wins it. Fouled by Garf. Apple slow to get up. A sneaker came off in the process. As Apple paws at his right elbow.
Oh, you see right there, it came right out of his shoe. You wonder if he can dunk without one of those shoes. It's been flying all over the court.
And Apple's still showing discomfort with that right elbow. He's clutching at it, bent over under the basket. Now, he's had injury that cost him most of a year during his career, held to just 5 games. So fouls are still relatively slight. 4:03 left. Eric Henderson's team has not known a deficit in the game. It's been firm command from jump. Easily could feel the double, able to get past it, flip to Sims. Apple shaping up. He was posting up against Bruner. Apple flying to the ball. 7 to shoot. Against Dynamo, Kyle wants it inside. 4 to shoot. Easily for 3. In and out. Rebound to Craig. And Easley's hurt. He's gripping at the top of his right foot. Floater off for Garfalo. Put home by Brenchley. And Easley is still slow to get up. Will get an injury timeout. He is coming up only to his left foot. Oh, oh man, that's a tough ankle roll. Oh goodness. Landed right on his foot, and that is hard to watch. And Charlie Easley, who had walked on at Nebraska, he was an AAU teammate of Baylor Shireman, who was a star for South Dakota State. So the coaches knew him well from their shared AAU time. When he put himself in the portal, there was an established connection. He is a great defender, an excellent shooter, and he is in agony after an ugly ankle roll.
Well, this has been a disappointing last 4 or 5 minutes, John. They played so well, and then they got a lead, and they just went, oh, no, like, let's just salt this game away. I'm confident they're going to be able to salt it away, but now you got an injury on top of it. It just doesn't feel like it was so dominant for the first, 30 minutes of this game, and the last 7 have just been ugly. Ankles are... You hope that the initial pain kind of subsides over time. But yeah, that did not look pretty.
Last foul of Craig, his 3rd. Gary is in for Easley. He was a starter until the early stage of January. Double on Apple, tied up, and a jump ball. Arrow to Denver. Could they bring it to single digits? 2:55.
Yeah, it looks like no one wants to go make a play, right? Everyone's trying to, like, just milk this clock. You got to keep playing. You got to keep trying to score. You know, a bucket here makes it interesting. A 3 here makes it very interesting.
Bruner only has 1 made triple. He is 3 shy of 20.
You know, Emily talked to Jeff Wilburn, and he questioned his team's energy and effort. Well, they brought it here the last 7+ minutes to make this game respectable.
Bruner up high. Gary got it fouled. That's 7. That's bonus.
You know, Bruner came down funny here. That was just off the mark, and now he's been wincing for like the last 25-30 seconds. Emily talked about him changing sneakers at halftime, and he looks really uncomfortable, John.
Foul to Brenchley, his 1st. Bruner critical for Denver. Front end of the 1-and-1 is good.
And he just comes down, and you see him right there, and the guy hasn't practiced in 2 weeks. He's got his team to the championship as a 7 seed. He has gutted it out this entire tournament.
Back end in the air, and good. Emily, what's the latest on Easley?
Yeah, I'm being told he is doubtful to return to this game, but you want to talk about toughness. Look, when his team stands up to root on the guys, he also stands up through the pain.
And he's now buried near the far end of the bench. Craig up top. Misses. Mayo's got it. What's the math with this kind of deficit on fouling, Tim?
Yeah, you probably want to extend the game, but the reality is, there is no 10-point shot. So, the hard part is South Dakota State is not playing the score. So that's why this game has really gotten so choppy.
And a whistle and foul. Now, if there's someone you want to foul, it's probably William Kyle III, a 59% shooter whose form has not been the prettiest. The foul goes to Tynamo. He's got 2.
That's why I'm all for John playing to a target score. That way it forces the team to keep playing every game with every game-winning shot. And you wouldn't just salt away games. You would have a lot of excitement, really, for both teams. Getting stops, scoring big buckets.
Front end miss. Bruner trying to post against Mims. Craig, kick up top. Brenchley for 3. Yes! Timeout Denver. From down 23 to single digits. And 1:53 left. When he was asked about the task of his 7 seed, the idea that they are from Denver, they deal with elevation, they hike and climb mountains. And they have one more mountain to climb, but they want a Summit League championship and a program first Division I NCAA tournament berth. Gary gets fouled. Excuse me, Apple gets fouled. And Emily was listening in on the huddle, and that was indeed what they were talking about, Emily, right? They wanted to send him a 62% shooter to the line.
That is correct.
Now, Apple has been very clutch on the game, but he hit the floor hard a couple of minutes ago, and oftentimes off ball has been shaking his arms. Seemed like that right elbow was bothering him. Front end. In and out. That's another front end miss. Kyle had the same. They need a shot. Brenchley gets fouled. That's only 5 on the Jackrabbits. That'll be Kyle with his second.
There's a lot of people still tuned into this game. Every point is an important one here, and you just wonder, make a couple of free throws. South Dakota State is not taking the win. They're basically playing, trying not to lose, and the clock is their friend, but it has not been pretty the last 5 minutes of this game.
75% shooter, front end of 2, no good. Now remember, this is a Denver team that normally gets to the line a lot. Most in the Summit, 23+ free throw attempts per game. Tonight, it's been far more slight. Denver 3 of 7 so far. 4 of 8.
Yeah, so you don't want to foul here in the backcourt. You want to give it at least 8 to 10 seconds to try to come up with a steal.
Gary. Doubled. Finds Mims. And Mayo, a great free throw shooter, who stumbles, finds Apple. Crowd thought Mayo got bumped. Mims deep. They're just playing keep away.
And now I wouldn't foul.
Apple wanted the ball. 5 to shoot. Drops the shoulder, floats it up, miss. Stumble. No possession exchange. Didn't firmly have it. Brenchley for 3. Got it! It's a 5-point game with a minute to go. And a foul. It'll be Bruner with his 3rd.
Wow. Brenchley's made some huge shots here. I know he split free throws, but he had a tough drive. He had a putback, bangs down a 3. The 25-year-old says, I don't want this to be my last college game. I am shocked how Denver has gotten back in this game. And that's really been the story for them. They came into this tournament, John, they lost 8 of 10. They were not playing great basketball, and somehow, some way, they find themselves in the final. And they really got here with toughness and defense. They really got back in this game the same way.
And now it's Gary with Easley sidelined with injury, clutching at that right foot a moment ago. Gary's been perfect at the line. And he converts again.
Well, first good look, you got to shoot here.
Craig, coast to coast. They don't even try to stop him. Mims gets hit. Jaxon Brenchley, part of the comeback try.
Yeah, I mean, and doing it, burying a couple threes. He's been physical. He's gotten to the line. Here's a guy who's been around the block. Elder statesman experience. He's been great here in the second half. This is a game that Denver looked absolutely dead in the water, and they have showed a lot of fight here.
Mims hits at the line. As a team, South Dakota State's second worst free throw shooting team in the Summit, but Mims is one of their stronger free throw shooters. So layup answered with a couple of free throws. Craig, the math getting ugly for Denver. Brenchley gets fouled by Gary.
They got fouls to give, South Dakota State, so one more to give before the bonus. But they have to do a better job of just not allowing straight line drives. I mean, last time Craig just walked on the floor.
Three ball, air ball, put back foul. That freezes the clock, 29.8. Brenchley.
He's been everywhere here in the second half. He caught that inbounds pass. He's been flying all over. Kind of the Jackie Moon hair with the headband.
And now at the stripe, he's got 19. He leads his squad. Make it 20. No timeouts for the Pioneers. Arrow favors South Dakota State. And foul to Gary, his second. Hits heel, has the board, can't settle, out of bounds. Jackrabbit ball. They're going to take a look.
I didn't see anything that said it was off South Dakota State.
Jackrabbits haven't hit a field goal in almost 6 minutes of game time. Can Apple get clean entry? He is not fronted. And he's forced to call timeout. So the Jackrabbits have one left. Denver has none.
I think this is a great lesson for other teams that are playing.
Rabbits. It'll be Apple again in the same spot. Again now fronted. Kyle, the worst free throw shooter, is on the opposite end of the timeline, farthest from entry. Mayo is their best free throw shooter. Mims hacked and fouled by Bruner. He's got 4. So it'll be Mims striding to the other end, who missed the first 13 games of the year with a broken foot. He dropped a career-high 21 the last time these teams met. Eric Henderson said, yeah, the blowout loss against Denver the first time, it made an impact. And they thought about that significantly, not just in how they reshaped their defense for the year, but in that rematch when Mims shined. And he hits the first. And Mims also had his best day from deep against Denver last year. He's shined in these moments. Hits them both. He was the neighbor of Eric Henderson's best friend. That's how recruiting started. Craig for three, swish. And they're going to take another look here. Is this to confirm three-time or both? He had a major dip in confidence during the year. Coaching staff told him, be you. And he became a dominant force and a big Robin to Tommy Bruner's Batman. Also became the primary ball handler with Bruner hurt. Clean entry, Gary. Foul, 16.1. So Kalen Gary, the redshirt freshman, who started 15 games, got moved to the bench January the 6th against Montana State. He is forced into action because Charlie Easley is hurt and doubtful to return. Awkwardly and severely rolled his ankle, falling on an opponent's foot. Foul to Brenchley, his third. Free throw miss. Who's going dancing? Jackrabbits haven't known a deficit on the game, trying to polish off a dominant day. It's the second.
You need to shoot a three here.
Craig again for three. Ugly miss. Rebound Brenchley. 8 seconds through a double short. Kyle's got it. Chin and spin for Mims. Foul. And it's ceremonial. The raucous recognition by the just about home crowd on a neutral floor.
South Dakota State was an amazing team in this game for 30 minutes. Then the last 9+ minutes, Denver was better and played more to win. I think Eric Henderson was starting to watch that clock too. And Denver, though, made it interesting for lots of folks out there.
Hits them both. Brenchley heaves. The South Dakota State Jackrabbits, perennial powers in the Summit, stand on top again. They are going to the NCAA tournament.